Check this out. This is the driver's side mount. This is what the mount's supposed to look like, and this is what came out the driver's side. All that vibration, clunking noise I was hearing when I hit the gas, that's the reason why. Look, no fluid, dried up, bone dried. Ain't nothing but like carbon in there.
I'm just ballin', flossing, rolling through my neighborhood, ballin', flossing, rolling through my neighborhood, ballin', flossing, rolling through my neighborhood.
What's the other joint? What was the other joint we're looking at?
Okay, my will presidential, 10 presidential, money presidential, bitches presidential, everything black, so you know I'm presidential.
He gonna hook up in the front center, and he gonna pull at an angle that way.
Riding through the hood with my top down, she know I like it better when my top down. Niggas hating on me cause I'm hot now. No surprise, I know why I'm getting money, yeah. It's a lovely day, so I'ma ride the city. Cup full of something to slow down my senses. The designer shoes cost a nice penny. That's $750. We talk Pacifics, that rose gold compliment.
Welcome back, guys. Yeah, I'm under the car, and I'm laying right up under the steering rack, and guess what I found? When I was doing the pipes, good thing I didn't have the bolts ready, because I decided to go ahead and inspect the vehicle, and I said, let me go look for my engine mount. Check those out. Ooh, look at that. You see all the splatter from the hydro fluid that came out of it? Yeah, that's what we're dealing with today. And I mean, partially today. Want to see how far I can get. Just I'm working a lot right now, working every day, so I'm gonna try to knock little segments of it out, little by little. But ultimately, see those two bolts? That's the engine, the top of the mount bracket. Well, I have to get two more bolts on the other side of that as well. They don't look too bad. I got some swivels and things to get in there. I got a lot of good tools, so but based on what I've been looking at and researching, I'm gonna end up, I gotta take this connector off that goes to the steering rack. Gotta take this bracket off right here, take it off up here, because I need to create a gap right here, because the engine mount, when I'm gonna pull it out and put it in right here. But in order to make more space right here, here, and then I'm gonna lift the engine mount up. I'm gonna lift the engine block up about 2 to 3 inches or whatever, about as much as I can get it without it looking too crazy. And that should give me enough clearance. Oh yeah, and additional to that, I will be lowering the steering rack. With this one bolt right here, I'll be taking out. That bolt right there, and that third bolt right there. Those 3 bolts are gonna come out. That'll drop the steering rack, and not the carriage, just the steering rack, and then it'll give me some more clearance. And I'll see how much clearance it gives me. I may have to unloosen these bolts on the actual steering column. See if it gives me a little more slack without it dropping all the way out of there, because I don't need no alignment issues. But that'll be the last case scenario. So that's pretty much all I have to do. The rest of it is fight. This is the left hand engine mount. I mean, yeah, the left side engine mount on the left side of the car, or the driver's side of the car. And it's the hardest one to get out. It's definitely some work. Let me see if I can get a better picture of what's going on. It's definitely some work. Look, that plastic, look at this, it's not even attached. Try to get my hand up under here. You can see this is, I really can't get my hand in there with the camera, but this plastic is pretty much off. I mean, this rubber is pretty much off, it's separated. That thing is completely blown apart, man. So let me get this done, just like I said. Now we'll get back. Okay. The lights on so you can see. All right, let's see on the steering rack. That's the wood holding up the engine block at a slight angle, of course. Whatever. That's the mount. Finally got the mount broke free. So the mistake I just made was I broke the mount loose, and hold on, shoot. Well, I broke the mount loose anyway, and once I broke the mount loose, I tried to take the bolt off the top of the boot, which it didn't work because the mount kept twisting. So I had to go back and just put 3 bolts in to hold it, and then come back and unbolt the bolt. The bolt was hard to get off, so I kind of used a long. I used my actual ratchet arm, and I got my ratchet in the right direction, and I mounted. I mean, I ran my my extension off the edge, and I caught the back of my ratchet, and I pried it like that to get enough leverage with a little short ratchet, because that ratchet is hard to get leverage on. I'm trying to do everything with my 2 hands, but I got the ratchet basically dislodged by prying it against this part of the steering rack, and kind of just did a motion like this. Okay, now got everything loose, bolts out, and it's been about 1 hour and 10 minutes. So I really would have probably did it in about 30-45 minutes. So it wasn't that hard. I had my high torque impact, which is making this job, everything I do in this car, very easy from the bottom. Get that high torque impact will break a lot of these heavy bolts in these hard to reach spots if you got the right extensions. The mid torque maybe it'll do it. I don't know. I got a regular low torque, the one that come with the kits and stuff. So high torque made a lot of my jobs easy. So, and just a lot of extensions and probably 1 or 2 swivels. Only use 1 swivel on here, but yeah, it's loose now, so I'm about to start trying to yank this out of here. Hard to get focus. Yeah, this is loose. So basically I'm gonna get this out of here. Let me put this camera back down, but I'm gonna pull all of this out of this area. I might jack the engine up a little bit more, and I still haven't lowered the steering rack yet, so I'm trying to see how much space I got right now. Okay, I finally got it in. It was about 2 hours tops just for the left side, which was supposed to be the longer side. If you got the right tools, you do it right the first time, you won't have to worry about it. Well, let me tell you why I struggled at getting enough room to bolt the top of the mount back on. So what you're gonna have to do you gotta make sure you do this right. So whenever you lift it up and you raise the engine and take it out and stuff, and you put the mount back on, when you first put the mount back on, you get everything in the hole, and you sit the mount back in the right spot on top, the bracket right on top of the mount in the right spot. Start the thread and on the bolt, and then go ahead and start all 4 screw threads. Get all 4 screws into the block of the motor. Get about 3 or 4 threads in the motor. Don't drill them all the way down. We need the bolts to be closer toward the edge. We want them out. We need as much room as we can. And then what you're gonna do there, you're gonna have enough reach between the block and away from the lower of the manifold. Because if you bolt it all the way up, it's gonna raise the bracket toward the manifold. You're gonna have little room to put a ratchet in between to tighten it up. So you have to put the 4 bolts in, thread the screw on top of the mount, and then once you get it threaded, put your ratchet in right then and tighten it all the way down. Once you tighten it down, then you can go ahead and start tightening the bolts up a little bit and lowering the motor back down as you make sure that the mount is locked in, because it has 2 little holes, grooves. It drops in on the mount. Make sure it's locked in all the way, and just drop the motor down, and it'll give you all your room back, all your spacing back, and then tighten all 4 of the bolts up, and you'll be good. Just that would have saved me a lot of time. I know better now, but it's done. Left side's done, 2 hours. I'll pick back up with the video tomorrow. Got work in the morning, so just want to get a little bit done tonight, and it wasn't hard at all. But see y'all tomorrow. Before I go to hang it up for the night, I repeat, I did not drop the steering rack. I lifted the motor up enough, and I was checking it as I lifted it, and I mean, just lift it up high enough to where you just gotta keep checking yourself, but lift it up high enough to where you have enough room to work. And how I measured that was after I got the 4 bolts out. I was trying to see how much room I had to take everything out. And honestly, after the very first time I lifted the motor up, I didn't even have to go back and lift it up. I lifted it up high enough, and this is how it looks right now. But when it got to it, when it got to the height, it was at, the front was up probably another 1.5 inches from here, and that was really enough. But the main point was, y'all can figure all that out when y'all working, but the main point was I did not drop the steering rack. Didn't touch any of the bolts, and it worked good. So, all right, today we are back, and I'm about to focus on getting the other side mount pulled out and replaced. Even though it's the better mount, it's fully intact and it's not leaking, but since I'm under here and it's easy to get to, I'm gonna make sure I go ahead and take it out right now. Pop this new one in. There's the other one. Oh my gosh. The other mount. Check this out. This is the driver's side mount. This is what the mount's supposed to look like, and this is what came out the driver's side. All that vibration, clunking noise I was hearing when I hit the gas, that's the reason why. Look, no fluid, dried up, bone dried. Ain't nothing but like carbon in there. Look at it, just like carbon. Pieces of rubber. It's supposed to be all one piece attached. None of that. Horrible. So let me go ahead and get up under the car and get this done. This side should be easier and take less time. There's definitely more space on here, so let's get on it. Okay, both of the mounts are installed. The right side mount went on in about an hour. I followed the how-to that I seen on the forum, the Jaguar forum, and it was straightforward. It really helped a lot. I looked at the dealer method. I looked at the video. I mean, the description that basically in pictures that the guy that whoever wrote the post did, and I basically I applied something I seen from a video. As a guy with a video, is a Hispanic guy with a video, and he got a Jaguar XK. No, I forgot what you call the 4-door sedan. I don't know, but he had a 5.0 in there too, and he did his, and I looked at his. But the difference between all of those is, I think all of them. Maybe not the guy on the forum. Anyway, I didn't drop the steering rack. I was able to jack the motor up, and it went high enough, and I didn't even have to jack it up like as high as it might have seemed. I've heard what, 3 inches. I think I may have barely touched 3 inches, and I had enough room to get them out. Get the bolts out. The tools. Okay, so this is the #1 tool. This tool right here. This extension right here. Look. That's about a what? This is about a 1 footer. This is about a what, 6 inches or something like that. And the swivel. This right here, I taped it up. The reason I taped this up is to make it tighter so it wouldn't be super flimsy, flopping all over. That way I could just stick it at an angle to a screw, and then give enough pressure, and it'll bend onto that screw without just flopping over too much, and it's too flimsy to even get on the screw. So I put a little tape on it. I didn't even tape it real hard. But with this one tool right here, I was able to get all 4 bolts on both sides. But this one right here, this made my job easier than ever. This high torque Milwaukee, the GOAT. This is the GOAT. I'm telling you right now, when I got on those boats, I would have been trying to break them loose like for the longest. But I'm telling you, when I put this on here, dropped it down to that 3/8, and just put it on 3. And the thing about it, this thing don't go crazy. That's what I love about this impact, man. This thing don't go. It ain't like my small impact that like it don't. When I put the pressure on it, it just go. It just goes light. It sound like it. You can't even tell that you ramped it up. It just go. And it does it like in little bursts. When it feels pressure, it does it like in little bursts. Go. And I swear it just broke the boat so easy. Broke them. Just broke them loose. Pulled it off. Dropped the. Wait. Yeah. So basically, and let me just tell y'all in order now. Since I told y'all about the tools that I really made everything go. Let me finish the tools. That impact. Then I have my regular impact, which is this one. After I broke the bolts, I took them all off on both sides with this one. I use this extension right here. This is a big one. I needed like a stick to kind of move things out of the way. And I also use this to pry, and I kind of got leverage on my ratchet whenever I had to put the ratchet on the top of the mounts to loosen that nut, because it was hard to get my wrist and apply leverage. So, recap. Drop the bolts on the bottom side of the mounts first. Don't get up under there with a 15 millimeter. Put them on that regular impact and just take them off. Take those off. Once I took those off, I jacked the motor up. Jack the motor up next. Let's say about 1.5 inches. Don't jack it high all the way to its max yet. Just jack it a little bit. Then after you jack it a little bit, go to the mount, whatever side you're working on. Go to that bracket, take them 4 bolts out. However hard it's gonna be. I'm telling you, first time I got the 4 bolts off probably in like 20 minutes. Only reason I took 2 hours on the first side because I did something out of order that no one explained, basically to create space for me to put that ratchet on top of it, because I didn't have a flat plane small ratchet. You need a small baby ratchet, because you don't have enough to fit a big ratchet. And the top side of that is 13. But after you raise the car up a little bit, then take those 4 bolts, not off, but all the way to the edge, like loosen them up, probably maybe to where it gives you about an inch and a half off of the frame, because the bolt's about 2.5 inches long. That way you just give some space. Leave all 4 bolts in. Then what's going to happen is that bracket going to slip out a little bit, which is going to slip away from the manifold that's right above it, which is going to give you a bigger gap to work with getting a tool in there to take off that bolt that's on top of the mount. After you take that bolt off the top of the mount, you can now take all 4 bolts out of the top bracket for the mount and see if you have enough space to get that bracket out. And I'll just try it for a little while. You don't want to just go straight to jacking the motor up. Like I tell you, I didn't drop the bottom steering rack, so I had enough space on both sides. But if you absolutely can't get that bracket out, then go ahead and jack the motor up about another inch. Then get back down there again and see if you should have enough to get it out. 2.5, 3 inches, you should be plenty enough to get it out. You just got to work it. Yes, on my driver's side with the least amount of space, I was able to get my mount out in broken pieces, which made it easier. But just to be sure, I had enough space because I put the whole mount back in that same hole. Full mount. Boom, popped it in, stood it up, put it in, and it was able to slide that plate on top of it. So got it secured. After I got the mount on top of it, immediately got the nut and put it on top of the mount. after that, I got 4 bolts and just started the threads, about 2-3 threads in all 4 bolt holes. Once I got that in there, I tightened all 4 of those up to where it just, not like with an impact or nothing, I tightened it up to where it pulled that plate at enough. And then, from then, I tightened that bolt on top of the mount down. Tighten the bolt on top of the mount down, tight as you can get it, because you got space. Get it all the way tight. Then, after I got the mount straight, because there's actually, you got to make sure the mount is aligned too, because the mount has a small pin on the side that the second pin sits right in the mount. That way it don't twist. But once I got that put in and I tightened the top bolt, I lowered the car. I got real careful. You don't want to drop the motor all the way down. Just drop the motor a little bit to give you a little more space. Tighten them bolts up and just see how tight you can get them. You don't want to tighten them. What you don't want to do is you don't want to, with that motor up in the air, you don't want to tighten all 4 of them bolts, because what's going to happen is with the space, the gap you've created, it's going to try to pull on the mount up and separate the mount. Stretch it out. You don't want to do that and be bolting it all the way back into the block with your motor up in the air like that. So you got to bring it down gradually until you got enough clearance to freaking tighten all 4 of them holes up and not be pulling back from that mount. So once that was done, that was in game after that. So that's the part I didn't get from nothing that I watched. So just, if y'all can get that and apply it to the what y'all see in the form, then that's it, man. But again, that's what it was, man. Mounts down, and let me give y'all the final look, man, just to show y'all what the other one looked like. So the other one wasn't as bad, but you could tell it was getting there. It was getting there. But this thing right here, oh my gosh, horrible. Look at this, horrible. And look, this the pin that slides in the mount. So you got to make sure this is facing it's gonna be facing the engine on both sides. It's gonna be facing the inside. Once you align it, that's a wrap. So again, man, thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all sub to the channel. If y'all are loving the videos, man, the information I got, man, I'm gonna keep trying to bring it every time I got something to show y'all. So again, deuces.